And let me read you this list. Who says Russia meddled to help Trump? The CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the DNI, Senate Republicans, Senate Democrats, House Democrats, and Trey Gowdy. Who doubts that Russia meddled to help Trump? President Trump, Devin Nunes, and Vladimir Putin. Did I miss anybody?
You know, you could pretty much just throw in there everybody that voted for Trump.
Yeah, okay. So are you one of the people who doesn't believe that there's any evidence that Russia's intervened in the U.S. election?
I'm one of the people who is skeptical of accepting U.S. intelligence community claims without evidence. And
Mueller's indictments, of course, are symbolic, but I suppose they were meant to convince those Americans who doubt that there was, in fact, a systematic Russian government effort to interfere with the 2016 election. Are you now convinced?
Absolutely not. But I am a supporter of facts. Are we doomed? And these are the consequences of what we call Russiagate, for which I can find no factual evidence.
Is when the CIA starts saying, we have high confidence that that there are WMDs. And so when they say again, as the Democrats go out saying, we have high confidence the Russians actually won the war, won the election, you know, they intervened, and that's why Hillary lost, not because she ran a terrible campaign or she wasn't very likable. We lost because the Russians fixed the election somehow, some magical way. Okay. I'm troubled by all that. I want more facts.
But that's not what they're interested in doing. They're interested in getting themselves off the hook for losing the 2016 election to a guy that they really should have beaten. And that's a fairly bogus project, if you ask me. I mean, this is one lame excuse, you know, and laden it with all sorts of significance and attributed to it all kinds of sophistication, which is just flatly false.
My point is really pretty simple. There should be no guessing here at all. They should be able to show the trace routes of all the packets, or some of them anyway, going to the Russians and then from the Russians to WikiLeaks. There's no excuse for not being able to do that. And that would be the basic evidence to prove it.
Do you think that Russia meddled in the 2016 election?
You know, I haven't seen the evidence. I would love to see that evidence.
We need to see evidence before believing claims from institutions that have proven over and over that they're willing to lie and mislead.
You are just a defender for Putin, aren't you? You just don't want to accept he's done anything. Because you say, I don't know, but anything he's done.
I'm questioning your certainty.
If this hacking actually took place, there would be an electronic trail back to the point of origin. We haven't seen any electronic trail. We haven't heard anything coming from the director of NSA saying that there had been a successful hack. And so it just leads me to believe that the evidence doesn't exist.
You know, the point is they're supposed to prove the assertions that they're making, and they're not doing that. That means, to me, they don't have the evidence.
In pursuit of an issue where there's been very little core, fundamental, foundational evidence presented.
Well,
and that's why I think, and when Scott says that the DNI and the CIA should have put out more information at the end of the Obama administration, yes, but they put out almost nothing. I read those two reports, and you should go through them. They are laughable in terms of any kind of evidence.
And you make it pretty clear that Scott Shane and Mark Mazzetti misrepresented key information as they recapped the Russiagate narrative in a recent lengthy piece in the New York Times.
Right, and you know, my story is based on my conviction that these journalists I think these journalists failed their readers by simply not paying attention to the meaning, the significance of numbers that they put forward. In some cases, numbers that were simply wrong and misleading. They did not pertain to what they said they pertained to. So the overall effect was to convey the narrative that the Russian government, using the Internet Research Agency, tried to in tipping the 2016 election to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And if one really does parse, as you put it, the numbers and goes back to the original sources, which are Facebook and Twitter, and look at their significance, what you find is very clearly that is not what happened at all.
Who doubts that Russia meddled to help Trump? President Trump, Devin Nunes, and Vladimir Putin. Did I miss anybody?
Trump's not wrong to think they all fucking lied about us.
One day the source or sources will step forward, and that might be an interesting moment. Some people will have egg on their faces.